Hi, it's John. I'm on day 16 now of my post-COVID project, walking from Paris to Bordeaux. I finally reached the Loire River at the very elegant Renaissance town of Blois. When you cross the bridge, this staircase is one of the first things you'll see. Coming up at the Royal Palace is one of the country's best bits of early Renaissance architecture, built by François Premier. And of all the famous women that made their mark here, I'm going to be going with Joan of Arc. Here's Blois on my route, more than 200 kilometers out from Paris. I still had more than 400 to go to arrive at my destination, Bordeaux. Joan's statue was on a fabulous site overlooking the river. 600 years ago, she led the French army from here to save Orléans, just upstream. I knew all about it because I'd visited the castle at Châteaudun on day 11 of my walk, and its owner was her most famous companion in arms. The Loire is a hotspot for French gardens, and I was going to see a lot of good ones over the next week on my way to Tours. Here's the garden next to the palace that's got the famous Renaissance staircase. The entrance is on the other side, and that's the king who came just before Francois above the arch. And here's the staircase that Francois added to the palace, one of the country's best. This was the king on the horse, Louis XII, whose last wife was Mary Tudor, sister to Henry VIII. And she brought with her as a lady-in-waiting none other than Anne Boleyn. Maybe Anne learned here how to marry a king. The Valois kings were like the Tudors. There was never a dull moment. And the palace was the scene of many lurid events over the centuries, while this was a seat of royal power. But this man, Henri IV, the first Bourbon king and patron of Samuel de Champlain, calmed things down and moved the center of power out of the Loire and back to Paris. The actual town of Blois is well worth exploring. If you're enjoying this video, subscribe to my channel. More is coming. After doing some shopping, it was time to cross the river again and head downstream to Chaumont, which had another fabulous chateau. On my way out, I noticed the same type of mosaics on random walls that I'd seen on day one leaving Paris. I think they're France's answer to Banksy. you.